Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's another hump day, happy chat in the neighborhood. Yay for all of us. We're here. We made it. Another week has gone by. Yabba dabba do. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Valerie Shepard. I am founder and CEO of the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self Mastery, coming to you live for this week's Hump Day Happy Chat. Yay. And we have to start out with all of our friends to the north, wishing them a happy Canada Day to our northern neighbors. Canada Day being observed on July 1st since I don't know how long, but it marks the kind of coming together of Canada, Confederation Day of Canada in 1867. Canada was coming together. We were in the midst of a civil war. Lots going on in North America in the middle 1800s. So happy Canada Day to my friends in Canada. So excited for your celebration. I know it's a holiday there, so hopefully you're getting lots of beautiful weather and time to spend with family and friends. This is an important time in the epoch, the current experience of life on planet Earth. There is quite a big shift, or many big shifts, quite a lot of taking stock in where we are and where we're supposed to be, quite a lot of pivoting. Pivots are happening. Quite a lot of maybe even a little backsliding is happening. A little bit of, oh no, what's happening? I'm being pulled backwards. It happens. It's okay. So today, I wanted to talk about the check-in. Let's check in. You, me, let's do a little check-in. What do you say? So checking in. I think of it, I just came back from a trip. That was an interesting experience. I wonder about, I had on my face mask so much that I really literally at a couple points just wanted to rip it off. And I was wondering about, it really put me in connection with, what are they? Essential workers who spend all day, 12, 13, 14-hour shifts serving others wearing a face mask. I mean, I started to wonder, am I getting lightheaded because I'm breathing just the air that I've exhaled? Like what's happening in this mask? Is this good for my brain? Like, and of course I think about my brain more than I ever have. In the last 5 years, my brain is on my mind. So I was wondering about, like, what am I inhaling in here? And yeah, I did check my breath quite a few times. And then I wondered, what if I sprayed something on the inside of my mask to, like, would it smell good, or would that be really bad for me? So I didn't do that yet. But this whole idea of checking in. So I checked in at the airport. I checked into where I was arriving. I checked into the workshop. So all these check-ins, right? All these check-ins, which are designed as our way of sort of marking our being somewhere, marking that I've arrived, marking my place on this leg of the journey. I'm here. I've checked in. And it got me wondering, like, interacting with this idea of how am I gauging forward progress? And like, what is that exactly? What is forward progress essential to my idea of all is well? Is forward progress essential to my idea of all is well? So if we're making sure that we're still on track, and that's really important to us, that's phenomenal. It's great. checking in, taking stock of how far we've come, right? Often what I used to do was take stock of how much further I had to go. And I know there's a lot of that going on in the world today. We're looking at both sides of the equation. Like, how far have we really come? And I know there's a conversation in this country, at least, in certain dynamics, in certain powerful and important dynamics, specifically racial equality and social justice, especially for Black people and eliminating anti Black racism. Uh, we haven't come very far. We've maybe changed the way it looks, and there's been a shift in the way it's embodied and who might be carrying it, but we haven't come that far. So there's that kind of taking stock. How far have we come? And then there's this like pinging toward the future. So if I'm standing here and there's where I'm trying to go, how much further is the journey? I liken it when I'm on the freeway and I see the sign that says I'm still 600 miles from where I'm going. There's like a sinking feeling, like, oh my God, that much further. How am I gonna make it? Or sometimes it's, I'm not gonna make it. There are times that like I have those feelings when I come sometimes get on the scale. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna make it. I want more popcorn. I want some more ice cream. That's a happy chat for another day. So this dynamic of checking in along this along my way. What is my way? Along my way. And then part of the check-in, how far I've come, how far I'm going. But another part of the check-in, my eyes back to weeping again. It's been weeping a lot lately. Wasn't that fun to watch? Part of the check-in is what is coming up for me where I am right now? What's the discernment that's happening where I am right now? What am I feeling? What am I seeing? How am I experiencing where I am right now? So the check-in isn't always about gauging our forward progress. It's not always about seeing how far we've come and how much further there is to go. Checking in is really important, just to check in to this current moment and where we are, taking stock, so to speak, of where we are. Like, that's really important for me whenever I'm checking in to see if a detour is necessary. Like, how often do you do that? We can be so focused on, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there, that we often practically kill ourselves and run ourselves ragged on the way. And we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to do a timeout. Like a timeout, I'd like to do a pause. I'd like to see if something else may be calling to me in the moment. And many people don't necessarily want to know that, right? Sometimes there are times when I don't want to be distracted, right? I'm going down my path with my blinders on. I don't want to know what's out there. I don't want to know what's out here. I don't want to know that. Like, that stuff can distract me and get me completely discombobulated. And what more might be possible by the detour? One of my favorite Rumi quotes is, straying marks the path. Straying marks the path, which basically is saying, find a detour and let yourself be free on it and see if that doesn't become the path you were meant to be on. I have this conversation a lot with my younger clients and my students who are so adamant that if they don't know what they want in their lives right now at age 20 or 22 or 24, if I don't know what I want, I don't know how I'm going to get there, then something's wrong with them. And what's funny about this is we can actually have that feeling all the way through our lives, all the way through our lives. I mean, I remember feeling that way at several different key points in my life, especially when I was embarking on a new path, right? Where I thought that I must, I am supposed to know much more than I know about this path. Like, why am I not absolutely crystal clear on every step that's coming? And I would beat myself up. Why don't I know? It can be very unsettling to be in the space of, am I where I'm supposed to be? And then I started waking up to the question I was asking, am I where I'm supposed to be? Well, who gets to decide where I'm supposed to be if that's not the I am in me? Who gets to decide where I'm supposed to be except for the I am within me? That's my decision. That's my decision. So the check in gives me an opportunity to make sure that I'm really having a relationship with myself, that I'm really on a path that I created for myself with my own aspirations, with my own inspiration, with my own purposeful walk on the journey, as opposed to being run by social consciousness. Society says I should, or being run by parental energy that says I should or shouldn't, being run by something that has nothing to do with the real highest center in me, that highest place. So sometimes getting to the destination really isn't what's really important. Sometimes what's critically important in the here and now is just being in the here and now, just coming into the present moment, taking stock of where we are and making that absolutely perfect, that that's where we are. Huh. How often do we do that? So this check-in, thinking about taking stock of where you are in the present moment. One important part of that is calibrating, the recalibration of where you started and what things you knew were true, what things were bubbling up, what things were important when I started. And are those the same things that are important right now? And if they're not, how does that shift where I'm headed next? How does that shift my desire? How does that shift my purpose-filled action? How does that shift my satisfaction from even being on the journey in the first place? Like, it's really about the present moment fueling the next moment, the enjoyment of the present moment as a fuel for the next moment, and experiencing the next moment and the next moment after that, anchored in the present moment. And what does the present moment have for me that supports me to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be successful right now? And how can I leverage that into the next step I take? Check-ins, they're critically important. I mean, I check in every day. For me, it's called meditation. For me, it's called kind of mapping out my things to do list, which I'm not as good at as I would like to be. I can sometimes get distracted with interruptions, the oh my gosh, I forgot to, or the phone call that then takes me off track, or I go through my emails and find out there's an urgent one, and all of a sudden everything gets pushed aside while I really give that 100% focus and attention. The other thing that's really important about checking in is to see if I have lost sight of why I'm in this in the first place. So, here are a couple of things that can help your check in be fueled with light and high vibration that helps you discern what's next. So, this number one, watch for signs that you've totally disconnected from the passion underlying your purpose. If you're doing things by rote, you're just reciting the meditation or the mantra. You're just sitting down and begrudgingly doing it because you said you would do it on your 10-day challenge. I'm just doing another thing because I said I would. So as soon as I notice myself in that kind of energy, I recognize that I'm off track, even if I'm on track, because on track includes my whole self. Being happy and whole means all of me is engaged. And if I'm bored, or I'm doing things just because I said I would, or I'm just in a rote recitation of the things that I think are supposed to be happening, then I've disconnected from my passion. And then what happens then is I'm in a lower vibration. And so what I'm doing is really not being infused with powerful, attractive, high vibration energy. So I might be attracting less of what I want and a little bit more of what I don't want. So this ability to notice, am I just doing things without engagement? And do I need to reconnect, refresh, reignite the underlying passion for what I'm doing? So that's part one. Another thing you can do is zero base your assessment of where you are. So zero basing means you reference to only right now, not to a previous commitment, not to the way you said you wanted to be at this point in time, not to what you thought was going to be happening. Zero basing means you throw that out the window and you start from today as though today is point one. And you say, okay, given where I am now, given what's going on in me and around me and through me and as me right now, what is calling to me to be done? The beautiful thing about zero basing is it allows you to step off the path that was created with what you knew back then and to create a path based on what you know right now. It is a beautiful way of coming into the present moment and taking stock and not just looking at it and going, oh, here's where I am, but actually reframing and creating anew from where you are right now, leveraging where you are right now into where you're trying to go. This is a beautiful thing when we've got a long path. So when I was getting my master's degree, when I'm looking at the outline for my next book, yep, there's another one in the hopper. When I'm looking at that and I'm saying, well, when I originally decided this book, I thought it would be this. And so I was doing that. And now, where I am now, what does the book want to be? What is calling to my sacred heart? What really wants to come through me and as me in this moment? So, this zero basing, a zero based assessment, gives you the maximum possibilities and the most freedom to create in the moment. Then, when you're at that spot, you could ask, what more is needed from me? What more is needed to make this next leg of my journey, even if it's only one day, right? If we find that thinking about 2 years of the master's degree or 4 years of the college degree or 7 years of the PhD or 3 days of detoxing or 30 days of a program, if that's too far to think, then maybe it's about how do I make whatever time I'm going to commit to next, whether it's 3 days or 30 days or 6 months or a year or 2 years or however long. Maybe it's about checking in on what's possible to make this more fulfilling, even more enriched, even more beautiful, even more inspiring, even more expanding. When my heart opens up and my chest opens up and I feel myself just dipping back into the of my experience of my life. How can I do this in an enriched, fulfilling, high vibration way? Like, our lives are really not supposed to be about working hard. We're not supposed to be in struggle. We're not supposed to be in the energy of drudgery. Ugh, I'll get there one day. And that's part of what we're seeing erupt around the planet, is that people are awaking at a deeper and higher level to the fact that they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're tired of the drudgery of trying to get where they're going. And so, what more, even in the midst of nothing changing? So, the Hump Day Happy Chats are about what we can change that will allow us to experience and endure and transcend and travel through that which we cannot change at the highest level within us, which creates our most positive and powerful experience of what's going on. I mentioned in the previous happy chat, I felt like my heart has broken over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's still breaking. There's something every day that can trigger the most deep sorrow, the most deep level of distraught. And in the experience of those things, I can still feel my center. I can still feel the divine energy that I am calling forth to me to release, to forgive, to heal, and to step forward anew. So there's been a lot of that repeating itself, rinse and repeat every day for this particular time in the journey. And then my last thing, that often when we're so driven to get somewhere, when we're so driven to complete something, when we're so driven to elevate ourselves, when we're so driven, it's rest. Rest is a self-loving act. And there's a difference between resting and sleeping, and we need both. We need the both. But remember to rest, to give yourself the time to rejuvenate the spirit, to reflect, to be still, to check back in, to tap back in, to turn back on. Rest is critical to you living happy to be me. So that's it for the check-in. I encourage and invite you to make checking in a part of every day. A part of every day. Check in when you wake up. What's mine to do today? What is calling to me? Just as your eyes are opening and you're just noticing yourself awake, check into your connection to source and get your download for the day. Where is your magnificence waiting for you to step into it? Where are the answers for the questions you're not even sure you have yet? What more is possible for you being you today? Check in the middle of the day. Stop the doingness and check in for a minute of beingness. Check in before you go to sleep. Pull into mind and heart the gratitude for what's been happening. Pull in the fortitude from that gratitude to go forward to do what's left. Checking in can be a magnificent part of your journey into the highest vibration of you, which will ensure the highest experience of your life, the best, most fulfilling experience of your life. Yay, you can do it. Many blessings. I'm Valerie Shepard coming to you from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self Mastery, where we help you master yourself in your life so you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And as always, I'm going to close our Hump Day Happy Chat with the metta prayer, the prayer of loving kindness, the Karanaya Metta Sutra from the Buddha. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to their light, the light of their true nature, and may all beings be free. Free in every sense of the word, geopolitical freedom, most importantly, emotional freedom. Freedom from low vibration, past energy, holding us down, keeping us in place. Many blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your week. Celebrations coming this weekend. Many blessings. Bye now.